stopping the right-wing death cultists from basically committing suicide. How, what do we do? I've seen stories. One blog that I read regularly had a piece yesterday afternoon about how, finally my husband talked to his doctor, and his doctor said, if you won't get vaccinated, I don't even want to be your doctor anymore. And because, you're older and you're overweight and you're going to die if you get this thing, and I just don't want to be your doctor if that happens. So get your damn vaccine. We've got doctors rebelling, essentially. Over on the Drudge Report, the headlines, Arkansas reports new record for hospitalizations. In fact, they've reached the point now where they have virtually no ICU beds left. So in the entire state of Arkansas, if you have a heart attack, if you have a stroke, if you get in a serious car accident and you need an ICU bed, good luck, Charlie. They're all in use by COVID patients, all of whom are unvaccinated. State races to find beds, another one of the headlines over on Drudge. Ambulances strained, another headline on Drudge. Another one, amid Delta surge, confusion again reigns. Another headline, world nowhere near end of pandemic. So what's going on here? Well, what's going on here is that Donald Trump decided back last year in 2020 that if he continued to acknowledge the pandemic. He made this decision in the middle of April. And I've written about this numerous times. You can find them fairly easily with a search on HartmannReport.com. Donald Trump decided that it was no longer a good idea going into the summer and fall of 2020, an election year, to keep the economy shut down. Because what he knew, and what every politician knows, is that when the economy goes to hell during an election year, the party in power always gets voted out. And guess what happened? The economy went to hell last year, and the White House, the House of Representatives, and the U.S. Senate are all controlled by Democrats now. And so, Trump was desperately, during 2020, trying to deny the danger of COVID, even though he knew all about it. Back in February of last year, he told Bob Woodward, this is terrible stuff. This is dangerous stuff. This is worse than the worst flu. This will kill you. I mean, he went on and on. These are not verbatim quotes, but you can find them easily. With regard to Bob Woodward's book, he knew how bad it was, but he didn't want to do anything about it. Because he also knew that if he shut the country down for he had shut the country down for about a month in March, right? And then he opened it back up in April. If he had kept the country shut down through June, July, August, we would have saved 400,000 lives, according to a study done by the Brookings Institution. If he had simply done what, for example, Canada did, we would have saved 400,000 people who didn't need to die. But Donald Trump didn't do that because he knew that the consequence would be the economy would go soft and Republicans would lose big in November, which happened anyway. So now the Republicans, since they started down this road, since Trump told this lie that, don't worry, and hydroxychloroquine will cure it, and now it's ivermectin, this horse deworming paste that they're promoting because some guy in one of the, was it Italy? I think, I forget where it was. No, it was Egypt. A guy in Egypt, must be a Muslim, right? Tell the Republicans that. Publish this report. No, I don't. That's like on the edge of something nasty. But you get the point. I think a lot of these people, if they knew that this study came out of Egypt and that then the guy was charged with plagiarism and making up numbers. The math literally didn't work in his study. And his study has been withdrawn and completely repudiated. And yet, hey, here's this thing that got printed someplace. And the Trump guys, the mask holes and the Trumpies are all over it. Oh, let's follow Donald Trump. He said, and all the Republicans, they say there's nothing to worry about. And we're going to hit 700,000 dead people this year. Because Trump and the Republicans are still trying to hang on to the lie that Trump was trying to tell to desperately try to win the election in 2020. He was willing to let 400,000 people die to try to win that election. And it's continuing. And the cult around him is expanding. Have you had members of your family fall into this cult? Have you figured out a way to get them out of it? It's now become the kind of the death cult slash Trump cult. Down in Florida, an amazing piece over at Raw Story. MAGA lovers flock to Florida seeking access to Superman Trump. Florida, you know, in this one area of Florida, you've got Matt Gaetz, Palm Beach-based Laura Ingraham, Lou Dobbs, Ann Coulter, Jupiter-based Mark Levin, Boca Grande-based Tucker Carlson, Palm City-based Dan Bongino, as well as Sean Hannity, who has a condo in Palm Beach, and now Ben Shapiro. The National Enquirer, they write, launched by a childhood friend of Trump mentor Roy Cohn, gave rise to the paranoid and factually challenged style of modern right-wing media outlets like Newsmax and Fox News. This notoriously Islamophobic right-wing provocateur, Laura Loomer, she says, all roads lead to Mar-A-Lago. Anybody who is anybody has to formulate their political career and build up a donor base to establish themselves in Palm Beach County. This is where the political power within the right wing or the America First movement is centralized. I was with President Trump 3 times in 1 week. Hagan calls it a space safe from liberals. Meanwhile, Ron Johnson, the intellectually challenged Republican senator from Wisconsin, is now promoting ivermectin, the horse deworming paste, as a COVID treatment. The paper was published by Dr. Ahmed El-Ghazar of Egypt's Benha University in November of 2020. And it was pulled in July of 2021 due to ethical concerns, plagiarism, and calculation of data points that were mathematically impossible. But it rolls on. This article about it, this is, again, this is from Salon, Nicole Carlos writing. She says, unlike climate change denialism, there's no lobby group profiting off ivermectin sales. So why? Well, the conclusion, according to Dr. Amesh Adija, a senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center, the right-wing obsession with ivermectin, is merely because it sows distrust about science in general. These people have been indoctrinated by the fossil fuel billionaires not to pay attention to scientists, and now that's translating into medicine. The FDA just reported there have, quote, been multiple reports of patients who have required medical support and been hospitalized after self-medicating with ivermectin intended for horses. And, you know, like we're just seeing a replay of what happened with hydroxychloroquine, which also doesn't work. So what? Oh, really? Oh, Governor Cuomo of New York just resigned. Very interesting, breaking news. By the way, and the Senate also passed the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Now it goes to the House, but the big lift in the Senate is going to be, can they pass the package, well, package I suppose is the word, the process for the $3.5 billion bill. The $3.5 billion bill, they haven't finished writing it yet. But there's this procedural step where the Senate has to basically say, yes, we'll consider this. We'll take this up. And once they do that, then you fill in the bill and you submit it to them. And that now is going to be the big battle this afternoon. And if that gets passed and goes to the House, then hey, maybe we can get something done. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see. We'll see.